past was a mere whisper drowned out by the cacophony of modernity. Ethan Gray walked a path dictated by numbers and graphs. The skyscrapers loomed over him like watchful giants, their glass facades reflecting the synthetic glow of neon lights. People rushed by, absorbed in the glow of their screens, their faces expressionless in the face of fleeting digital interactions. Ethan, a data analyst in his 30s, felt out of place, a rational man in a world that had long forgotten the magic of stories. One fateful evening, as twilight cast a deep blue hue over the landscape, Ethan found himself buried in the dusty archives of the city, searching for an old report. That's when he stumbled upon a peculiar file, sealed and marked with an emblem, a pair of open eyes ensconced within a circle. Registry of Lost Books, stored in the last library, the file read, sending a thrill through Ethan's veins. He had never heard of such a place, and a curiosity he couldn't quite place clawed at him from within. As he delved deeper into his research, he found nothing. No maps, no photographs, just a lingering sense of the forgotten. Then, an anonymous forum post lit up his screen, carrying a cryptic message that echoed in his mind. If you're searching for the last library, follow the silence. Where the city forgets to breathe, you'll find the books that breathe instead. Intrigued by the allure of the unknown, Ethan set out on an adventure. 2 nights later, shrouded in the stillness of midnight, he wandered through his city. The noise and chaos faded as he ventured deeper into the old industrial district, where shadows danced and the world felt eerily mute. He stumbled upon a narrow alley, swallowed by darkness. At its end stood an imposing oak door, intricately carved with the same emblem he'd seen before. His heart raced as he knocked, the door creaking open to reveal a hidden world. Inside, the air was thick with the scent of old paper and waxen candles. Rows upon rows of books stretched into the dim light, creating an infinite labyrinth that felt both welcoming and haunting. The keeper of this realm, a silver-haired woman with eyes that seemed to pierce through him, stood behind a wooden desk. Her voice was soft, yet resonated with authority, as she welcomed him to the last library, a sanctuary for forgotten stories that the world had chosen to erase. Ethan's skepticism was met with her stark reality. When the world forgets, we remember. Each visit drew him deeper into the library's embrace. He discovered works that challenged the narrative of his society, books that unveiled government scandals, narratives of suppressed rebels, and histories buried deep beneath layers of censorship. Yet one section remained elusive, marked by a looming iron gate labeled restricted. The allure of what lay beyond it consumed him. On a daring night, curiosity overcame him. He slipped through the unlocked gate and was drawn to a black leather book with no title. As he opened it, horror washed over him. The pages chronicled his life, revealing details yet to unfold and dire consequences tied to his actions within the library. The keeper's voice boomed in warning. "You should not have opened it." Ethan was faced with a harrowing choice. To leave, he must sacrifice a memory, something precious to him. Panic gripped him as he realized what that memory was. The face of his mother, forever etched in his heart. The thought of losing it brought tears to his eyes, yet the alternative was even darker. In a moment of heart-wrenching decision, he relinquished that cherished memory, feeling the very essence of his being dissolve like mist as the library claimed its price. Once outside, the door swung shut, and no trace of the library remained. The silence that enveloped him was suffocating. Weeks turned into months, and Ethan returned to a life devoid of the warmth of his mother's smile. Yet, in the depths of night, he began to dream of books, forgotten tales whispered to him by the very library that had claimed his memory. An anonymous message soon appeared on his computer, urging him back to the library. The words beckoned, promising that others were waiting for him. With every fiber of his being, Ethan felt the pull of those lost stories. He began to write, publishing them under a pseudonym, igniting whispers of rebellion among those who yearned for the truths buried by the powerful. Eventually, The call brought him back to the alley where it all began. The door was ajar, and this time he stepped inside willingly. A keeper's smile was warm, no longer a source of fear. Ethan realized then that the library wasn't a prison, but a sanctuary, a resistance forged in the fires of forgotten tales. He had embraced his fate as the new librarian, destined to ensure that stories once lost would never be forgotten again. No one in the city would witness Ethan Gray again, but across the digital landscape, his words flourished. Stories that should not exist emerged, igniting hope and courage among those who dared to dream. And at the end of each volume, a single line echoed, a promise that the stories once forgotten would forever linger in the hearts of those who chose to remember.